some who have history, some who do not within sports car racing.
The change of position up into 4th place now is Sebastian Bourdais, car number 5, took the restart in 6th. Both he and the number 48 car managed to get around number 10 of Alexander Rossi right at that restart. Did we see what happened, or we just saw the kind of aftermath of it, didn't we, I think?
There was a bit of side by side going into turn 7, I think, from memory. It might have been turn 10. But that was already when the 10 had dropped behind, and that was Kobayashi going by the Alexander Rossi Konica Minolta car. And Shea's got an update on that car, because it hasn't quite had the pace since the restart. Shea, what's going on?
I have the answer for you on that. It has lost pace due to the right side intercooler damage sustained when the contact happened with the 14 Lexus. So sort of the debate between you and Nick Damon once again. It's rearing its ugly head at this late stage in the race.
Right, okay.
The penalty for incident responsibility, wasn't it, number 10 car? As you see, the LMP2 leader into the pits one more time. 307 laps completed for that car. The gap over the number 18 was just over a lap, so that'll be just less than a lap now. And the number 18 car, it's only about halfway through its stint, I think. The number 52 car did not pit during this most recent caution period, whereas the number 18 did. So that's kind of given the opportunity for the 18 car to get back onto the lead lap. I guess the 52 didn't pit during that previous caution period because they didn't want to allow the number 18 to get back on the lead lap, but because the 52 didn't pit, the 18 did, so even though it remained a lap down, it was right behind the 52 at the restart, or very close now to the restart. So when the number 52 car did duck into the pits, the 18 car is back onto the lead lap. That's in LMP2.
Jeremy Shaw, he's with me in the Haggerty Global Cup Broadcast Centre. In comes the Mazda of Ollie Jarvis. We'll do a quick Mazda in-race update after the hour, and we go past 9 o'clock. Shea, Adam, what's going on down at Team Mazda?
Who was it who was put into the Mazda at the end of the Sebring 12-hour in November to take it to the checkered flag and ultimately to the top step of the podium? That would be Mr. H. Ticknell, Le Mans winner in 2020 in a GTLM car, by the way, I'd just like to say, or GT Pro, but still, Harry just climbed aboard the 55 DPI, and I just got goosebumps. Come on, Lena, take it to the checker.
It's Lena Gade, of course, multiple Le Mans winning engineer and strategist.
Strategy there is interesting because it doesn't need to come into the pits right now. It's only been 17 laps since it stopped. That included 5 laps of yellow, so it didn't need to come in now, but from here to the end they can make it on one more pit stop pretty comfortably. So just trying to, I think, even out these stops, these stints in the final stage of the race. And if you can get Jarvis out now on a fresh tyres, he was actually losing a little bit of ground to the 60 car, running in that 3rd position before this stop, but now with with not quite a full tank of fuel perhaps, and a fresh set of tyres, maybe he can make up a bit of ground here on those 2 cars that had been ahead of him. And to cover that, Scott Dixon brings the race leading car into the pits.
73 minutes when that car came out, split that in half. That's very achievable by the 55 car that Jeremy was talking about. And when we talked about covering off, what you don't want to be doing is getting caught the wrong side of a safety car. That's why the 0-1 has come in now, and Shea is watching the Cadillac pit stop.
Ranger, Van de Zande, gold helmet and everything into the 0-1 Cadillac. They're taking their time, though, not replacing the right front wheel. There might be something wrong with the right front of the suspension. Fuel nozzle is still attached. Yes, it looks like there is a bit of damage. I thought it was a late dive into the pit lane for Scott Dixon. Fuel nozzle is out. The car is still sitting up on its air jacks there.
Right there.
This is it. This is second race in a row that they have lost in the dying moments to some form of damage. The nose is coming off. Oh my goodness, not again.
There's a little ding on the right front of that. There's a dive plane or two missing from the normally immaculate Dallara bodywork on the Cadillacs, and I think it's more than that. If it had just been the dive plane, I don't think they would have worried about that, but they're now looking at the right front steering and suspension. So what happened? Oh, huge hit as he was trying to get into the pit lane. Got the wrong side of one of the GT cars, and that's what caused the issue. Drifted wide. It was the BMW. It was the 25 BMW, Connor De Phillippi in second place. Scott Dixon, maybe a late call, Jeremy, for Scott, because it didn't look like he was on the line to come in the pits. He hadn't slowed down that much, and even coming in the way he did, he had to go across the yellow lines to get into the pit. So covering off, as you said, that might have been just a little bit of a late call for the 0-1 from Chip Ganassi, and Scott didn't get the right line as he was coming into the pit lane and had to try and chop back across, which is where the BMW already was.
That's certainly what it looked like, Johnny. I think you called that exactly right.
Yeah, because he goes down the inside of the BMW into 17 and really just needs to lift a little bit and keep the car to the right-hand side. The GT cars, even the GT Le Mans cars, have a little more mechanical grip, so through the slower corners. Dixie goes up the inside, looks like he's got it, then he's back on the power, but drifts really wide and then cuts back. The BMW barely even nudges the BMW, but it was enough to do something to the front right of Scott Dixon's Cadillac. Yeah, broken steering. So that is going to take some time to fix, and that car is out of the fight. Kobayashi in the pit lane for the 48 Cadillac crew. Shea Adam, been and gone.
The only little bit of redemption that I could possibly think for the 0-1 machine is that they currently sit 6th on the charts, with Mike Conway not going any further in the 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac, and the 48 that just came down the pit lane for fuel and tires for Kamui Kobayashi, as we know, having exceeded drive time and being moved to the back of the results after the race. It means that the 0-1 will score no fewer than 5th place points. So it's not as bad of a day as it looks on the timing charts right now. One more point at the end of the day in effect, but it's still gut-wrenching. Renger van der Zande, twice he's finished second in this race. He's never won it. And then Scott Dixon, never even been on the podium in this race. It was looking so good for today. Not going to happen.
You're listening to live coverage of the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring for 2021, presented by Advanced Auto Parts. It is IMSA Radio as we're getting down towards the last hour of what has been an enthralling event. Let's give you our final Mazda in-race update. It's the 60 of Ollie Pla leading. That's the Meyershank racing with Curb Agajanian. Acura 8.5 seconds ahead of Alex Rossi in the 10 car. Looked like he was dropping back, but it's all started to get dramatic again at the front of the field. It's another 58 seconds back to Seabass in the Mustang sampling number 5 car. That car was out of it. It was off the lead lap not so very long ago. Now sits in a podium position. Ollie Jarvis for Mazda, another 4.6 seconds further back as we're right in the area where you can stop now and then just take one more stop to the end. Scott Dixon, miscommunication, misstep, mistake, missed opportunity for the 0-1 car. Chip Ganassi Racing will not win this race. They'd have the fastest lap. That's possibly all they're going to come away with. In LMP2, Mikkel Jensen, PR1 Matheson Motorsport by a minute from Aero Motorsports, and Kyle Tilley 52 from 18. United Autosports many laps back now. Tonio Garcia recently with the new lap record pace of a 1:55.6 in GTLM for Corvette Racing has half a second on Connor De Phillippi who has 2 seconds on the Porsche from WeatherTech Racing. Corvette, BMW, Porsche in the top 3 in GT Le Mans. 3 different manufacturers scrapping, battling it out, gouging if they could. But there's elbows out all over the place around the track. Colin Brown has fought his way to the lead of LMP3 for Core Autosport. They were laps down early on in the 54. Ligier, Riley Motorsports in the shape of Jerome Bleekemolen in the 91 car is 6 seconds further back in second, and Spencer Piggott is just 1.2 seconds back in the third place. Riley Motorsports entered number 74 car. And in fact, 47 Motorsports still on the lead lap as well, with Austin McCusker in the Decane number 7, which had shown very well early on. In GTD, again, fast laps being put in by Lawrence Vanteur, just a couple of tenths away from the lap record pace for Fast Motorsports Porsche. He's got 6 seconds on the Heart of Racing team Aston Martin. Ross Gunn in the 23 car in second. Then it's another Porsche with the fastest lap a couple of laps ago for Pat Long. He's now peppering the 2 minute mark. 2 minutes 0.6 is the lap record for GTD. He's just done a 2 minutes 0.8 in recent times, and he's 0.3 of a second behind the Aston Martin. Fourth position is Catherine Legg for Team Hardpoint EBN. That's another Porsche. 3 Porsches in the top 4 in GTD. It's that Porsche time, isn't it? They come alive in the darkness. Top 6 made up by Andy Lally for Acura, and then 40 seconds further back from 4 laps down, Sun Energy 1 back in the top 6, back on the lead lap with the 75 AMG GT3. Shea Adam into the pits for Alexander Rossi.
And he's staying aboard this car. I'm genuinely surprised to see that. Ricky Taylor, you would think, would be the guy to bring him to the checkered flag at this race, but with an hour and 3 minutes to go, they are going to have to make one more stop, you would think, for full service. So maybe they're keeping Ricky fresh for just one stint. And Morrow gets his camera right up next to Rossi. Rossi glances in the mirror, having seen him in the peripheral vision, and then engages the car and gear, and Morrow snatches the camera back. Morrow, chapeau, you brave, crazy man on the pit lane. But Rossi, fuel and tires, out into the darkness once more.
Shea, just take a look at the pit stop time for Cameron Kobayashi in the Ally Cadillac. It didn't look like that went smoothly. Was the work going on there?
Last pit time for the 48, 1 minute and 25.7 seconds, whereas Alex Rossi's pit stop by comparison, 1 minute and 6 seconds. You are correct.
Renger van der Zande back into the fray, by the way, for Cadillac Chip Ganassi after almost 9 minutes in the pits, has dropped down to 6th position. They'll bravely fight on to the end of the race. It's Jeremy Shaw and John Hindhaugh in the Haggerty Global Broadcast Centre. Shea Adam is our VP Racing Fuels Pit and Paddock reporter. We're live across the USA and North America on Sirius 216 XM 392, around the track in Central Florida on 99.1 WWOJ, as well as on RS2, the home of IMSA Radio, around the world, every hour of every day of the year, always IMSA content. And we have got 61 and a half minutes, Jeremy, before we head towards the checkered flag and find out who are going to win the classes and who's going to win overall here at the 69th annual Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring. Well, this has kept our attention all the way through, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Who was that who was stopped on the side of the racetrack? Number 5 car leads this race now. That's Sebastian Bourdais. That is the 6th different car that has led. First time that car has been out front in this race. A 28 lead change. Wow.
Confirmation of the retirement of the Whelen Cadillac. Too many problems for that car today. Was super quick when it was running. We still, by the way, are just about on track to go to 349 laps. So 30 laps to go from here right now, and that is a minimum, I reckon, of 30 laps to go if we stay green. 7 caution periods so far, Our longest green flag period was 2 hours and 45 minutes, right in the middle of the race. Nice to see a new lap distance record after 3 attempts of having a go at it and getting it stuck on 348. Yeah, Bourdais with 6.5 seconds, Jeremy, and a 47.3 last time around. Harry Tinknell 49.7 in the Mazda. Mazda looking for back-to-back victories here after breaking their duck and getting their maiden victory in November. They came here with high hopes. They're not out of it yet.
They're not, no, and they managed to get ahead of the number 60 Acura during that round of pit stops. The number 10 car has just been in the pits, and they're ahead of that one as well now. So with this latest round of stops now completed, and everybody requiring one more pit stop before the end of this race, but everybody will need to take on very different fuel loads during this final pit stop. The Mazda will take on the most, but we'll see now whether he can close the gap to Sebastian Bourdais. This latest lap of 47.00 for Sebastian Bourdais in the lead of this race, pulled out nearly half a second over Harry Tinknell in number 55, 2.5 seconds behind them, having turned to 47.9 on this last lap, Alexander Rossi in the Acura. So Cadillac, Mazda, Acura, the top 3, covered by 9 seconds.
So still all very much in it is what we're seeing here. So if you at trackside and thought, you know what, I might pack up early and head for the exits. What? Stay, have whatever celebrations you want after the race, make yourself a nice early breakfast in the morning and then start your drive home. If you are around the rest of the US, 9:15 in the evening Eastern time, well, what else are you going to do now on your Saturday night? You're not going out, so you might as well stay for another hour. Where are we in Europe? Just after 2 o'clock in the morning. UK just after 1 o'clock in the morning. You've come this far, don't you dare think about going anywhere else. Sit back, enjoy, sit forward and enjoy, because somehow I don't think the drama's over here. Don't write those headlines yet. PR people the world over have been caught out by that down the years. Ah yes, I have a template for this. Oh dear, no I don't. Yeah, that's IMSA racing all over, and the WeatherTech SportsCar Championship inside the last hour now of this absolutely enthralling Mobil 1 12 hours of Sebring. Sebastian Bourdais coming to the fore with that Mustang sampling car. That's the dark grey with gold on it, and been a couple of laps down at one stage. Fought their way back into a damage early on the left hand side in front of the left front wheel on the nose. That was replaced. Corvette number 3 under pressure from BMW number 25. That means that's the battle for GTLM lead coming through into the S's. Flash of the lights from Connor De Filippi as he's closed right in with the Corvette slightly held up in traffic there. Now on the back straight, lights flashing again. Everybody knows that makes you go 5 miles an hour faster when you flash the headlights. Down towards turn 17. Garcia totally impervious to that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, done it myself. Doesn't work. Saw it in a cartoon work once, thought I'd give it a try. Across the start-finish line in towards turn 4. Little dab on the brakes, a breathe on the brakes for the GT Le Mans car, right to the inside wall on the left-hand side. Porsche ahead. Leader gets through. Oh, very close indeed. That's one of the hardpoint car. That's the 88 Catherine Legg car that gets between first and second in GT Le Mans. And yeah, beautiful bit of driving by Garcia. Timed that to perfection. and just, I reckon, did it at the point that meant the BMW couldn't get through. 75 Sun Energy 1 car circulating, still having been 4 laps off their leading GT Daytona, and that's the outlap for Maro Engel, so he's been into the pits. That'll be the last stop for that car. I reckon that car can go to the end from here. 55 minutes to go. Yeah. The GTDs.
16 car in as well, John, and the 44.
It's the 16 Wright Motorsports car into the pit lane. What was the other number that you said, Andy Lally? The Magnus car as well. Shea Adams watching that.
Yep, correct. Fuel and tires for both Patrick Long and Andy Lally. 2 of the top 5 have made their final stops. When Catherine Legge, Ross Gunn, and Lawrence Vantour come into the pits, that's anybody's guess, though.
Well, you've got the choice, haven't you? If you've got fuel, you decide either to come in with everybody else, but if you've got fuel, Jeremy, you might want to just stay out and get as close to the end as you can and do a slightly shorter stop. It's just a question of how many tyres you dare throw at it. Stick of tyres going on the Pfaff Porsche, at least on the left-hand side, and there's another 2 Michelins to go on the right-hand side of that car as well, Shane.
Come on, Team Canada, the last pit stop you have to do to potentially win the Mobil 1, 12 hours to Sebring, the 69th running of this great race. Fuel is still going on, the tires are done.
Great
all
stop.
of the work of all the other mechanics, they've nailed it all day long. Fuel Pro comes out for the last time, and Larry lights them up, leaving the pits.
And there's no chance you're going to take Vantour out with the pace that he's been showing. He's back into the race. The Aston Martin Vantage of Heart of Racing, that's getting a full service as well, and that's also shiny sticker Michelin tyres. Well, this is it. Down, fuel probe out, 32 seconds. That's a really good stop for the Heart of Racing Aston, and that is back out. Didn't see a driver change there, Shea. I reckon Ross Gunn will be staying in that one.
Correct. Ross stayed aboard. His bright yellow helmet still visible slightly through the windows every now and then when you get a glance of it at night, meaning that Catherine Legge is still out on the racetrack, and if she does not pit this time around, the 88 will be the leader in GTD for the first time today.
Andy Lally stopped as well and is back out. I think we mentioned that. Absolutely fabulous. So I reckon, Jeremy, we've still got 7 GTD cars on the lead lap as we go into the final stanza of this race.
Yeah, I think the number 12 car is a lap down. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Right.
If it isn't, it's right on the tail end of the lead lap.
Right.
But yeah, Catherine Legge, she and Andy Lally, interestingly, had a nice little scrap, but during that last stint, and Catherine actually managed to make a pass on Andy, so she will have thoroughly enjoyed that. Andy, not so much.
Good friends, those two have raced against each other and together. Here comes a Porsche into the pit lane. That will be Catherine Legge.
Into the pit lane she comes, out of the first position. Didn't manage to make it around to the start finish line, so will not be scored as the leader, but for sticker Michelin tires, they did save an extra set for this final stint. They listened to our Porsche keys to the race. How appropriate in a Porsche themselves. The problem is, though, John, that they lose a lot of time in refueling. That car has been struggling with that all day long. So the question is, where will Cat come back out on track? It will be in the 4th position, we think, but how close to Lally and how far behind 3rd?
Yeah, and only the timing screen will tell us that. At the head of the field in prototype, 6.5 seconds, Bourdais to Tinknell, 3/10 quicker Tinknell last time around. 2.9 seconds further back is Alexander Rossi for the Acura. 5:55 and 10 within 10 seconds of each other and running within tenths of seconds. Dane Cameron's found a bit of pace in the MSR Acura. He did a 48 last time around, a 48.9, albeit 48.1 though for Kamui Kobayashi. Very good lap from him.
I don't know what caused that slow pit stop, do we, John? But he certainly hasn't given up yet, Kamui Kobayashi. He's charging on there and trying to whittle away that deficit to the Dane Cameron number 60 mile Shank Accurate just ahead of him on the road. Still about 10 seconds behind him, almost 10 seconds though.
7 full course cautions, 43 minutes and counting on the green flag with 50 seconds, let's call it, for the race to run. Of course, it could be an extra couple of minutes on the end, depending on where the leader is, as the time is about to elapse. Look at the lap times, around about 1 minute 46 for the leaders. So that's what you're looking at as they come to the line of this. That amount of time remaining. Less than that amount of time remaining, you'll get the white flag. A little bit more than that, we'll go around one more time. Just marvellous to see the relative performance of the cars in some of the long runs that we've had, Jeremy, and got to say that the IMSA data-driven technical team have once again done a cracking job with a disparate set of cars in each of the major classes, as the number 4 Corvette, with all of its trials and tribulations, comes in for, well, actually it won't be that car's last pit stop till 50 minutes to go for that, but it has at least crawled back up the timing screen a wee bit, and that's sitting in 14th position.
And you talked about number 12 car, John. It is still on the lead lap. You're absolutely right, at the tail end of the lead lap, Zach Beach. He's a total of, how far behind? 30, no, more than that. It's not right. Scratch that. Quite a long way behind. You know, the better part of the lap behind, but he is on the lead lap in that number 12 car. He's behind number 75. So as you say, 7 cars on the lead lap in GTD, and Lawrence Vanthoor all of a sudden has got a 12.9 second lead over the Porsche, which has leapfrogged the Aston Martin during that round of pit stop to the tune of about of 10 seconds. So all of a sudden there's a big change there. In effect, the number 23 car had been overtaken by number 16 right before the round of pit stops, and now all of a sudden comes out nearly 10 seconds behind it.
Yeah.
Lally is back ahead of Catherine Lane.
Well, that'll be an interesting conversation later, no doubt. No doubt at all. Adam?
It's all down to the fuel. On that pit stop, the Porsche leading the way spent, where did it go? There we go. 1 minute 6 and 1 minute 7 respectively between the two of them. Andy Lally was in the pit lane for 1 minute and 6, whereas the Aston Martin was in the pit lane for 1 minute and 9. And the Porsche that I mentioned that was having the fuel issues, that was 1 minute and 10 for the 88 hardpoint Porsche of Catherine Legge.
Inside the last 50 minutes, don't forget, we need your submissions, please, for Michelin post-race tech questions, points arising, something that you've noticed, or just something you want to mention, something you liked, something you didn't like. What's been your experience of the 2021 Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring, presented by Advanced Auto Parts? Were you at the track? Were you watching at home on TV, or much further afield and tuning in from the other side of the world? Already tomorrow in Australia and parts of Europe, well into tomorrow for Australian parts, a big weekend for the Australian audience, start of the AFL, a couple of great games at the MCG on Friday and Saturday, it was Thursday and Friday actually, watching those. Good to see the footy back to 20-minute quarters as well, instead of the 16 that we had last year. All our Australian followers and listeners have listeners and viewers to Endurance Racing. Thank you for spending your time with us. The hashtag is Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio. Let's have your submissions, please. We'll crack through a few of those. So we're coming on to 9:30 Eastern. Earl Bamber will finish the race for the number 99 EBR hardpoint car. Hello to everybody in New Zealand as well then, as we're mentioning Earl. Final stops coming in as well, Jeremy, for quite a few of the cars now.
Indeed, yeah, the Porsche, the Proton Porsche, the WeatherTech car, in at a third position. It slipped almost 5 seconds behind the two leaders, who remain pretty much in lockstep at the front with the BMW chasing after the Corvette. And now Connor De Filippi brings in that number 25 BMW for its final stop of the day. 44 minutes remaining in this race.
They should be all right with that. Do about 50 minutes, do we reckon?
Yeah,
good. Very comfy. Shea Adam.
Ooh, driver change. I was not expecting this. Connor De Filippi. No. Oh, come on, BMW. They do this to me all the time. They do drinks bottle changes on the driver's door side of that car. So when it is time to do a drinks bottle change, it's not a mechanic opening up the right side of the car and putting a new one in. It is actually another driver opening the door and putting it in, which is very smart. It's a very good use of crew members, in all honesty, but it catches me out 9 times out of 10.
Play action fake, basically, is what we're seeing.
It really is. They're calling an audible, and they're saying up at the line, do you want to get in? Do you want to stay in? I don't know. Let's figure it out. But in any case, Bruno Spengler giving a new drinks bottle to Connor De Filippi, who is staying aboard to try and take this number 25 BMW to the checkered flag to get BMW its first win in almost a decade in this race.
Blue Fiend tweeting in early for Michelin post-race tech. How do you think the lower temperatures for the Sebring Mobil 1 12 hours have affected temperatures? Chillier here at the track than it has been in years past. I think that's been a part of the pace that we've seen, Jeremy, certainly, and the evolution of the track. There was a few spots of rain Thursday night into Friday around the area, but we haven't really seen the track being cleaned off and green again, so all the Michelin rubber has gone down, and of course it is only Michelin rubber this year, with all of the series running it, including the Porsche Carrera Cup North America. But quite clearly the cars and the drivers have enjoyed the slightly more temperate temperatures.
Yeah, they have indeed. Number 3 car of Antonio Garcia makes what will be that car's final stop of the race. Just look at the lap times of the prototypes up front. Kamui Kobayashi has been the fastest car on the track now for the last several laps, and he's got that gap down to Dane Cameron's Acura to just under 3 seconds now.
Yeah, 2 seconds last time around. Shea, you've got the Corvette.
Dual tires, there's no way you're taking Antonio Garcia out of this car. That would be crazy. So they are getting the tear off, though. That's very nice, making sure Antonio can see where he's going. The fuel nozzle is still attached. The car is still, nope, it's off the air tracks. Waiting, and go. Antonio away, and hopefully the next time that crew sees the car, at least from their perspective, it will be a race winner. Now, how close is Connor De Filippi going to be? He's entering 17 now under the bridge, coming out, going up against the wall. Antonio Garcia is exiting turn 1, advantage Corvette.
Very good, timed that perfectly well. Just another 4 seconds further back. Mathieu Jaminet, 57.3 for the WeatherTech Porsche last time around, as De Filippi's getting up to speed after his pit stop. Another 47 for the leader, only 47.8, but still a 47. 47 flat for Kobayashi. It's down to 1.5 seconds, that battle for 4th place. And the 60 Acura, the purple Auto Nation car, that is definitely under pressure here, Jeremy. Then it's only what, only another 2 seconds further up the road for Rossi. There might be a podium finish here for the Ally Cadillac.
Well, yeah, the last, 7 or 8 laps, the gap was 10.5 seconds, 9.3, 7.6, 6.8, 5.0, 4.0, 2.4, and now 1.2 seconds on this lap. So Kobayashi, that's the margin between number 60 and number 48. And as you say, the number 60 car is not far behind number 10 either. But catching is one thing, overtaking entirely another. It's so tough when the cars are so closely matched.
I think everybody would be getting a little bit tired, and the cars getting a little bit tired as well. Not that at all. Everybody trying to wring the last ounce, the last drop of performance out of themselves, the Michelin tyres, and whatever car they're driving. Leader going through turn 1, 47.2. That was a good lap from Bourdais. Harry Tinknell about to go across the line, and that was a 48.4. It's up to 9.6 seconds, but it's a 49.3 from Rossi. He can't respond. That means Dane Cameron is catching Rossi, but Kobayashi is catching Dane Cameron. 3rd, 4th and 5th, Jeremy, just beginning to squeeze up together. One little stumble, fumble or bumble in the traffic, that could all change around.
It certainly could, and at the front, Sebastian Bourdais has responded too. He'd been losing just a little bit of ground to Harry Tinknell, but he's extended his lead again the last couple of laps. By a full second last time round, 47.2 on lap 331, the last one completed by Sebastian Bourdais. So he's got a pretty handy advantage now. It's almost out to 10 seconds over Harry Tinknell in second place, about 5.5 back to Alexander Rossi. And as you say, he's got his mirrors not quite full of Dane Cameron, but Dane Cameron definitely has his mirrors full of Kamui Kobayashi in that Ally Cadillac. A note also, by the way, GTD, the top 3 are pretty much spaced out now. Number 9 Porsche ahead of number 16 Porsche and number 23 Aston Martin. But Andy Lally is in 4th place. They're all equally matched, equally spaced, those 4. But Catherine Legg is right behind Andy Lally now. She was a couple of seconds behind him after that, the latest pit stops, no longer.
Yeah, that's interesting. Marengo 44 seconds further back. They could do with another spot or 2 for their Michelin Endurance Cup hopes. Leading, Mara was leading that after the last tranche of points from memory, and they will want to get a decent slew of points at the end of the race as well. Remember, that's a championship within the championship. Leader into the pit lane. Bourdais staying in the car, full service. Also Rossi and Cameron in with 37 minutes to go. So the 10 Acura, the 5 Cadillac, the 60 Acura all in that time around. Still waiting for the service to be completed on the number 10, Shea Adam.
Fuel and tires for the number 10, and Alexander Rossi staying aboard to complete his triple stint once again. So I am surprised that Ricky Taylor was not put back into that car, or Philippe Albuquerque, but instead the endurance driver was, well, given the task of enduring. Sebastian Bourdais, the same could be said about him, though. He is the non-full season driver for the number 5 Mustang sampling Cadillac, and Dane Cameron, who is a full season driver, is back aboard that car to take it to the checkered flag.
Sebastian Bourdais, when was the last time he won a race outright? IndyCar at St. Pete's when he came from the back of the field, Jeremy. When was that, about 3 years ago?
Good question. Don't know off the top of my head.
Just like racing in Florida. 52, Michael Jensen, PR1 Matheson, the wins livery on that car in LMP2. Last stop, 7th position for that car. 1:48.4, the fastest lap of the race in LMP2, and it goes to that car. That is stout, to say the least. With 35 minutes to go, as I say, that will easily get them to the end. As in comes Kamui Kobayashi just pulls in and around the outgoing PR1 Matheson LMP2. So Tinknell now leads the motor race. Another lead change for Jeremy to record.
Yeah, number 29.
And how many? 6 different cars it led, Jeremy?
Yes.
Yeah. So which of the top prototypes hasn't led the race then?
One hasn't.
Yes.
The number
10.
Oh, wait a minute, no, the 60 has led, hasn't it? Yeah, sorry. Wait, no, they've all led.
All led, yeah.
Yeah.
So all 7.
60, I think, only led a couple of laps.
Right.
But he has done, yeah, I missed that one. 2, 3, yeah, 31, 01, 48, 10, 55, 60 and 5, absolutely, they're all led.
All 7 of the top class cars have led the race.
Daytona, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. Very good. The unmistakable howl of a 4-cylinder 2-litre Mazda turbocharged engine powering the lead car. Kobayashi is back out and in the race. He'll finish he will be the closer for Ally Cadillac Racing. Here comes Tinknell into the pit lane for their final stop in the 55 Mazda.
He's been here before. He knows how to get this done. Fuel and new tires. You're going to give your driver the best chance he possibly can have. And that's exactly what Mazda Motorsports is doing. 4 new Michelin tires going on. Harry getting an additional drinks bottle by the look of it. There's a mechanic actually with a torch or a flashlight on his head. Ooh, there's contact out on the track. This could bring out
Sun-Energy
yellow.
one. Don't believe it. What a great run. It's turn 17. There's tyres all over the circuit. This is going to be a full course yellow. That car's not moving. The wing's been ripped off. The left rear wheel, I think, is gone as well. Mauro Engel in that car. Now, there's been contact. Was it with the wall or with another car? Sensibly leaving the headlights on, but the left rear wheel has gone on that machine. And it's left stranded on the track. Oh, no. Slid on its own and hit the... Oh, no, the wheel came off. The wheel was coming off already before the car hit the wall. So comes out of turn 17, perfect line for Engel, and then the rear wheel parted company with the car and sent him into the pit wall. Well, what an extraordinary accident, and how close was the leader in GT Le Mans? I'm certain that the left rear wheel was off. The right rear made contact with the wall. Full course yellow. I'm certain the left rear wheel had parted company with that car before that car made contact with the wall. 32 minutes to go. And how close to that was disaster for Antonio Garcia. Once again, quick work by the IMSA safety crews. They're already there. Really hard to control a car with 3 wheels on your wagon. Mauro Engel, how annoying. Worked so hard to get into a position to get back on the lead lap and grab some more points for the Michelin Endurance Cup. Could have done with the yellow, but not when they've caused it. Well, guess what, everybody?
The yellow, not me the yellow, huh?
Yes, exactly. Guess what, everybody? We're going to have about 15, 16, 18 minutes of dash to the flag.
That's a shame.
You want to know where to look at that dash? Look at GTD. Cat Leg got around Andy Lally again before the caution came out, and it's going to be Vantor versus Long versus Gunn versus Leg versus Lally for this thing.
GT Le Mans, or 3 cars on the lead lap there. LMP2, big gap between the 2 cars at the moment. That was almost a lap, but Ryan DL will have the chance to get somewhere near Mikkel Jensen. Era versus PR1. LMP3, Well, how about 4 cars on the lead lap, and the top 3 were already only within 2 seconds anyway. Colin Brown, Jerome Molan and Spencer Piggott for Cole, Riley and Riley. Well, the recovery is not going to be straightforward with a car that only has 3 wheels on it. And I wonder if it would almost... I think they've done suspension damage hitting the wall, actually. I was going to say it would almost be worth sticking a jack underneath it and see if you could put the other wheel back on again. Turn 1. Just watching to see what was going on with the leader there. Bourdais still leading from Tinknell. So all of the prototypes, Jeremy, this is just for the sake of probity, all of the prototypes able to go to the end, the DPIs able to go to the end, especially with this full course yellow. So we have got a full true race between the top 5 who are all on the lead lap when we go back to green. Yum, and indeed yum. Just when you thought you'd had that wonderful, rich 3, 4, 5 course meal, and then all of a sudden somebody comes out with a white chocolate bread and butter pudding with raspberries in it, and you think, oh, I'll have to find space for that.
John, you've just made me miss Mario and Canyons.
Mario, I know will be listening. Canyon has moved, actually. Mario has moved the our normal post Sebring eating place. Was in Fort Lauderdale. He's moved just a little bit further away, Shay, hasn't he?
He's just on the other side of the tunnel, still in Fort Lauderdale, but a much bigger restaurant now. And he's actually, it's a 2-part restaurant. Canyon is on one half, and it's an Italian restaurant that he's got going on the other half too, both under his control. But he does still have the bread pudding, which is what you've just made me insanely hungry for.
Yeah, that has become our special dessert of choice at Hindhoff Towers, Christmases, etc. So, pass around is ongoing at the moment. Does anybody need to pit? I don't think so. I think we've got through. So, only people who might pit is people who want new tyres. But I can't.
Yeah, the number 55 car came in directly before the caution flag flew.
Right. Okay.
Which was actually good news for them, because otherwise they could have fallen to the tail end of that group if they hadn't been able to get in. I think race control was able to delay it just long enough to give that car an opportunity to come in.
Right.
Or it might have been just, whatever, it's just before it probably in any case. All of the leaders had within the pits.
Excellent. Scanning through the other teams. 16, 26, 13, 29. No, they'll be all right. Would have been a bit tight for the WeatherTech Porsche if we hadn't had this full course yellow. Been out there for 17 laps already.
79 car, it came in like 3:10, I think, didn't it, last? It's only been out 10 laps.
It's been out on track for 22.5 minutes.
Sorry, my rubbish eyesight. I read that as 16, not 10. You're absolutely right. Yeah, they'd have been all right. Yeah, they would have been all right. Absolutely right. No, I'm looking down. Nobody's been out long enough to worry. Everybody should be able to get to the end. The GT Daytonas all got fuel around about the same time. They can do nearly 30 laps as well, and they're only into the teens, so nobody's got any worries here.
The 01 car needed a splash, but that's 3 laps off the pace. In any case, that was due for pit stop, but he's already 3 laps off. So
yeah, yeah. already on its 20th lap of the stint, so they'll. In fact, the pits are open for the prototypes, and Renger did come in, but as Jeremy says, a little off pace, taking the opportunity to clean up the track as well. Wow, that's great work. Wow, that is great work. Already on the rollback and heading down the front straight. That is fantastic work by the safety crews. Thanks to them for their hard work today. All of our marshals, volunteer officials, the medical staff as well, of course, at the circuit, and indeed those who have just been helping you park your cars or checking your passes, as well as everyone working in the hospitality and vendor units. Huge crowd on hand as well to witness the 69th running of the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring, presented by Advance Auto Parts. That is, yes, Ryan DL into the pit lane.
Out of second, it was a minute behind in 52 PR1 Matheson car, but with second place safely in hand, third place a further 10 laps behind. They've been battling gremlins all day long, has that crew.
I tell you what, Shea, I'll tell you what, they might not have been able to get to the end because they are 15 laps into a stint. All right, they've got some yellows in that, but there's still, you know, 10 laps in this race. So I'm thinking, get the fuel load right and give Ryan DL a new set of tyres.
Well, and it's kind of amazing to think about, but if they don't win this race, this will be the first contest all year that Dwight Merriman and Kyle Tilley do not come home with the first place trophy.
Yeah.
There was only one car, to be fair, in the Asian Le Mans Series AM category, but still, point is well taken. The number 52 car, by the way, came into the pits just before the caution period.
Yes.
And that allowed number 18 to get back onto the lead lap. So Ryan DL now is going to be able to make this pit stop and will be on the lead lap.
Yeah, and with the prototype split then, will he be able to get back on the rear wing of the leader? He will, won't he? Yeah. So, new tyres. You've got to bang new tyres on and fuel him. You've got to do the calculation spot on. He doesn't need a single lap of fuel more than to get him to the end. You want the car as trimmed out and as light as possible. Andy Lally into the pitch, Shea Adam. This is the number 44 car, the NSX. Now
You call for tyres, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's no worse off on fuel than anybody else, Shea.
And they do have more sets of tires available because prior to this stop, they had done 2 stops fewer than anyone else on the pit lane. This gets them closer. So yeah, Andy Lally, fresh tires, watch out.
Well, again, they've been doing those GT Daytonas have been doing early to mid-20s of laps, depending on how much yellow we've had. They're all in the early to mid-teens, those leading cars, with possibly 10 laps remaining. It's
stop the prototypes you're talking about.
No, GT Daytonas.
Oh, GT Daytonas.
Yeah. But Lally, I like that call. It's bold. DPI class split is going on. No.
Nothing to lose for Lally. He was 5th on the last car on the lead lap in GTD. The number 12 car, by the way, had fallen off the lead lap somehow. I'm not quite sure I managed that before this caution period. So the number 12 Lexus is a lap down. First car, 1 lap down in GTD in 6th position.
Yeah, did a short stint, did the 13-lap stint before the stint that he's on, having been in and out of the pits a few times during the previous yellows. And then I suppose was hoping to back time it, but that yellow's not helped him. Shit.
Lights are out on the safety car. We're going green.
Well, gonna have just under 20 minutes to go. That's a stellar.
And I don't think Ryan Diel is going to have, he might be stuck behind a few LMP3 cars for the restart here. All the LMP cars, the prototype cars can move past the GT cars, but I don't think he can move past any LMP3s if there's any between.
Kobayashi did it. Kobayashi did it. So he's allowed to go. Surely he's allowed to go.
No, the DPI cars can move.
Ah, okay, right. Yes.
I think the other prototypes, I believe the other prototypes cannot reorganize themselves into their respective classes. I think.
Right.
They've changed the rule for this race, but I don't think they can do that.
Right.
But even so, he's certainly going to be within striking distance.
On brand spanking tyres, everybody's got to get their tyres up to temperature and pressure, so there's no real disadvantage. It will be Sebastian Bourdais, Harry Tinknell right there, right with him, riding the brake with his left foot. You know that he's trying to spin up that turbo on the little 2-litre engine, a bit of wheel spin from the leader, but it gets a good launch off the final corner, and Tinknell was left wanting a tiny bit. Here comes the MSR Acura around the outside into turn number 1. That's the battle for third place, and that is an awesome manoeuvre. Awesome, Dave Cameron. That was outstanding. Made that look easy. The car looked like it was on rails. Goes past Rossi, round the outside of turn 1 on the restart. Kobayashi sitting right in there as well. Even Kamui Kobayashi would have been proud of that one. Jeremy Shaw, what a move by Cameron.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely superb move. And that's going to give him an opportunity perhaps to go for the win. I don't think the Acuras have quite got the pace of the Cadillacs in particular. But we'll see whether they got the pace of the Mazda as well.
Good restart from Bourdais. 1.4 seconds, even as they cross the line. Tinknell now will get his head down. We've got 17-18 minutes to go, and of course these prototypes now are in clear air at the front of the field, so you're going to get 3 or 4 laps, I reckon, before you hit the back of the field, and that's the opportunity for Bourdais to make his escape. Ryan Diel is just a second behind Mikkel Jensen, so the battle for LMP2 victory very much on as well. Same in GT Le Mans, with the top 3 spread by less than a second and a half, and GT Daytona, well, 2 seconds between the 2 Porsches in first and second, and then 4.5 back to the Aston Martin of Ross Gunn in third. Then Catherine Legg just a second and a half away from a podium spot. Good news from that last nasty accident. Mauro Engel evaluated and released side by side. GT Le Mans coming onto the start-finish line. Somehow the BMW and the Porsche did not come together, Garcia and Filippi, and somehow Conor de Filippi does not go into the wall, and he takes the lead. That's another outside pass on a tough corner here. Not turn 1 this time for Filippi. It was turn 17 that set that up. Garcia was still leading across the line, but Filippi has dragged past into turn 1, and BMW are back at the front at Sebring. Jeremy Shaw.
Wow, what a great pass. That was 2 tremendous passes there as the number 79 Porsche goes past the Bath Porsche that leads in GTD.
But a very good restart from Lawrence Vanthoor. He's got 2.5 seconds on Pat Long. He's got 5 on the Heart of Racing team. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Don't forget that the Corvette is still ahead of that battle, so that was for second, not for the lead in GT Daytona. Antonio Garcia is still ahead. That was Jaminet and Filippi have managed to put Jaminet in a Ferrari and Garcia in a Porsche at various times in this race, for which I apologise. 15 minutes to go. Corvette leads. 1.6 seconds. Philippi now in second. Jaminet down to third in the 79 WeatherTech Porsche. Great battle for the lead in turn 17 in LMP2. And that is Mikkel Jensen and Ryan DL. Catherine Legg catching the Aston Martin of Ross Gunn for the final podium spot in GT Le Mans. You need eyes in the back of your head here. Fantastic scraps for the lead and podium positions right across the classes at the moment. Colin Brown, by the way, has got to the lead in LMP3 and pulled out 3.6 seconds since the restart on the Ligier of Jerome Bleekemolen and Riley Motorsports. He's got his teammate Spencer Piggott just half a second behind. Hairpin for the LMP2 battle. This has been great, Jeremy. I know we don't have a whole host of LMP2s, but the guys who have come have given us great entertainment. Oh, dead stick. That is that the 7 shit? Oliver Askew for 47 Motorsport. That's horrible. No lights. 4th place in class. Now it restarts. Frantic talking on the radio about there. Everybody's heart in mouth. That was down at Gurney Bend, heading down towards the hairpin now, and it's refired. Oliver Askew's got it going. He won't lose that position because he's got a lap on Joao Barbosa, but he's lost touch with the leading 3.
How close it is at the front.
It's madness, Jeremy. Madness.
Yeah.
Half a second.
We've got 5 cars no tail.
Half a second, half a second, half a second. Yeah, exactly right. And any traffic now is going to be really a precious situation, isn't it, for all of those drivers?
What's wrong with Bourdais here? He hasn't got up to speed yet at this restart. 150.9 last time around. There shouldn't have been any traffic.
Well, they're all running at about that speed, 150s and 149s. Yeah. Lost temperature in the tyres, Jeremy. 15 degrees in the air, 17 on the track. I mean, that is chilly. That is very chilly indeed. Not trying to just push too hard. And there's been, well, another reason perhaps that we saw the 44 in the pit lane was that there was an incident between Andy Lally and Catherine Legg. Shea Adam.
It's not going to be an all-Porsche podium. The 88 of Catherine Legg, that Porsche will be coming back down the pit lane. Incident responsibility with the 44, eliciting a drive-through penalty.
There was a spin for the 44 at the Le Mans corner a few minutes ago, about 4 minutes ago. We're coming round to 10 o'clock Eastern, moving in towards the last 10 minutes. Here's our final Mazda in-race update. It's tight in all of the classes, with the top 5 cars separated by under 2 seconds at the head of the field. LMP1 and LMP2 under a second. LMP2 first and second under a second there. Dive down the inside, the 2 Acuras are still at it. And that was Rossi and Cameron. Kobayashi sitting in there as well, having a little look. Kobayashi looking down the inside of Rossi into turn 1 that time around.
Rossi just got dirty, really dirty, I think, over the last little while, because all of a sudden the lap times are just not there really in any of the classes.
I just think everybody's having problems getting another heat cycle into the tyres, Jeremy. I really do. I agree. It's got that cold. They were out cleaning the track up in that last yellow. Shea Adam hearing that there's potentially a problem with that lead car though, so maybe Jeremy had it right. Mustang Samlin, what are we hearing?
John DeGeese is reporting that Bourdais is saying on the radio there is something wrong with the car. There's no other details at this time, but that Mustang sampling Cadillac is a walking wounded vehicle right now.
John DeGeese of SportsCar 365 reporting from trackside this weekend. Thanks for all your help, John. Some great features as well that John has put together this week. Catherine Legg has to serve a penalty, but she is at the moment in third position. She's got past Ross Gunn. Presumably the Heart of Racing team had said she's got to stop, don't fight too hard. That would make sense. Last 5 laps or so, Jeremy, 10 minutes to go, 0.8 of a second. Tignall hasn't got into a position to really challenge Bourdais, not got alongside or given any kind of notice that he was trying to make the pass. However, that was Kobayashi, I think, making up a position in the 48 Cadillac on the Acura of Alexander Rossi. I'll try and spot the marker lights again when we get a shot. The leaders close, but not challenging close from the 55 Mazda, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. And it's 1 minute 50. Well, 1:49.4 last time for Bourdais, so he picked up a full second on that last lap over his previous, 3 laps since the restart.
Dan Cameron, half a second further back, make that 3/10. 2 seconds between the top 4 now. Kobayashi's dropped back a little bit after trying to have that little dart up the inside at turn 1. Still the leaders to catch the traffic. Andy Lally, who came into the pits and then had that spin, tipped into a spin by Catherine Legg, apparently, as Oliver Askew sets his personal best after the issues for the 47 Motorsports Duquesne. 42 seconds away from a podium spot there. 1:57.013 for that car. Oh, leader and a hit on the Corvette. That's 3 cars involved, turn 7 and 8. That was the leader, Corvette Racing, and Felipe was involved there as well. So Chamonix in there as well. I think that's the top 3 shit that have come together in various shape and form at the hairpin, and Garcia is the one who has lost out. 25 and 3. Spinning at the hairpin according to race control, but Chamonix had to go off the track. Now, was it unforced errors? Was it pressure? Or was there a little bit of a love tap there? No doubt that Felipe is pushing hard. He's gone off the track. He's gone all the way off the track at turn 15. He's lost the lead. It's back to the privateer car. And once again, the WeatherTech Porsche leads in GT Le Mans. And here comes the second BMW as well, although Jesse Cron was a long way back. Is he a lap off the lead still?
Yes.
I think he is, yeah.
Yes. By the way, Bourdais just went at 48.7 last time around, so he's now in the window with that number 5 car. I don't think there is a problem. Harry Tignall keeping pace with him, but Bourdais now fully up to speed again in that race-leading car. But what a battle this is in GTLM.
Still can't work out what happened at turn 7. So the 25 car down the inside tips the leader into a spin and then continue to push the car. That's going to be a penalty, I think, for the BMW, I'm afraid. Conor De Felipe in second place at the moment, and Antonio Garcia has had to pit at a 25 incident responsibility. This is going to hand the victory to WeatherTech. WeatherTech are going to win this at a stroll, believe it or not, now, Jeremy.
Yeah, they're leading in any case right now.
But Felipe's going to have to come into the pit lane. He's been called for incident responsibility. And the onboard absolutely showed that. So Garcia, if they can get that car to finish, there's still second place on here.
They're done.
Oh.
Hand across the throat.
Corvette.
I'm guessing right rear suspension damage on that car. the way the hit happened, and then they continued. The hit at late stage of the race, they might have got away with it. I think it was the continued contact. The 55 Mazda, second place, been driving so fast in the last hour or so that the pitot tube that they use for measurement is pointing straight up to the sky, so they're getting absolutely no data from that at the moment.
They've had none since the start of the race, John. They've had a problem with that all the way through.
That's a good point,
but,
yeah.
But Kobayashi, by the way, did get past Rossi a couple of laps ago, so the 48 car made to the 10 in fourth position. Leader still nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, top 5, great stuff.
Shea Adam, the Corvette lives.
Corvette went back out. I'm wondering if the signal was to the other crew members saying, don't do anything further, let's just limp it home.
Well, Felipe has got to do a drive-through. How quick he's in the pit lane now, is he? Right, thank you. The number 3 Corvette is coming up to turn 10. I don't think he's going to be able to get round quick enough. 4.5 minutes to go.
Are we going to hit 348 laps again?
I think we are, Jeremy. I wasn't going to say that. I've got 3:49 predicted. 3 laps to go.
I don't think it'll be 49. It might be 48. Where are they on the racetrack?
Leaders are...
Well, they've done 3:46.
Yeah. I think they might get... The leaders are at turn 5 going into Gurney Bend, Big Bend.
Yeah.
I think we might have a distance record, even after the 2 hours and 28 minutes of yellow flag. 8 times we've seen the safety car. Oh, Mazda now really closing up on Bourdais. Bourdais with a little bit of traffic to deal with now, including the BMW Nicola Molly car. Oh, fantastic dive down the inside of one of the RCFs by the Mazda driver, Harry Tinknell. He's really giving it everything at the moment. Smallest engine of the DPIs. You really want to keep that revved up. You don't want to lose momentum. Takes a little while to spool the turbos back up again. You don't quite have the grunt of the bigger capacity engines. So sometimes traffic is a wee bit of a problem. You've got to be very brave indeed.
And we do now have a podium sweep at the moment. Top 3 positions for Porsche in GTD. Catherine Legg is ahead of Ross Gunn.
She hasn't served her penalty yet.
No, that's right.
So that's been argued at the moment, I would guess. Discussed, I'm sure, is the better word. 2 3/4 minutes to go. Still the battle in LMP2 now on the back straight. Still 0.8 of a second. Jensen versus DL. The leaders going through traffic round the outside. Oh, I thought the Mazda had got it in turn 1 there. Looked like he got his nose in front for a second. They're going past the red BMW, but still Sebastian Bourdais leaves, but there's more traffic ahead, Jeremy. There's no doubt that Tinknell wants to win this, and he's prepared to do pretty much anything to do it. That was really brave by Harry at turn 1.
And so does Kamui Kobayashi. He's up to 3rd place now in car number 48.
And he's only another 0.2 further back. The top 3 are within a second. Cadillac, Mazda, Cadillac for the podium, but which ones and in which order? My goodness, Kobayashi's got a really quick car. He's challenging Tinknell. Tinknell's dropped away from the leader just for a moment. And that could be curtains for the Mazda charge, because Kobayashi is the man on the move at the moment. He may only have 1 more lap at the end of this. If he's going to have a chance of the win, he's got to dispose of the Mazda right now. Right now. And the leader's getting away. Bourdais, a new lease of life on this 348th lap, so we will have a new lap distance record here at the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring. Hashtag Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio for post-race tech. White flag being readied at the start-finish line. 3 prototypes within a second, going on to the last 3 3/4 miles. take a deep breath, throw it up the inside. If you've got the pace now, this is when you've got to use it. Bourdais, I think, has done enough unless he makes a mistake. And he's got a relatively clear run ahead of him, very clear run ahead of him. Won't catch anything now, maybe not before the end. It's the Sean Creech Motorsport prototype that is the next car ahead, but that's a long way ahead. That's going into turn 10, and they're only just breaking down into the hairpin. Down the inside, Kobayashi goes for it. Oh, yeah, I thought he was going to go through that. Kobayashi's got a good run out of the hairpin, goes round the long way into turn 10. Big defensive move by Harry Tincknell on the crossover. The Mazda's got a bit of flapping bodywork on the right rear. Kobayashi to the right-hand side, almost gets position. He's there now. No, he can't get up the inside at 13 either. One more chance for Kobayashi. And Dave Cameron's trying to get back on terms with them as well. Bourdais done enough. Bourdais has done enough. If he keeps it clean, it will be a win for the Mustang sampling JDC Miller Motorsport Cadillac DPI, coming back from 2 laps down. But who's going to be second? Kobayashi's got the run. Tincknell's got to go to the right-hand side. Has gone to the right-hand side early. Here comes Kobayashi, he'll flick to the left-hand side. Does it now, tries to go round the outside into turn 17. He's nosed ahead, but he's on the wrong line. The car drifts away from underneath him, but who gets the drag to the line? Mustang sampling win for Cadillac. Second place, a fighting second place for Mazda. Then the Allied Cadillac Racing, number 48. Cameron was right there as well. Then Rossi. Top 5 within 5 seconds, top 4 within 2.5. Absolutely extraordinary. Connie De Filippi has finished in second in GT Le Mans for BMW Team RLL. So Jaminet, WeatherTech Racing, privateer team against the might of BMW and Corvette Racing in the factories, with the Proton guys running that team and a couple of Porsche factory drivers. The Porsche 911 has won by the vagaries of where they were on the track. They'll win it by a lap. Jaminet brings it home, and it will be BMW second and third. Awful finish for Corvette Racing. In the LMPs, they're still fighting, but Braun in LMP3, Colin Brown, has got 3 seconds. He's going to win that one. He's in turn 17 right now. Mikkel Jensen came home in the lead for PR1 Matheson ahead of Ryan DL for ERA. Going to be tight for second. Leighton Morland just from Piggott by half a second in LMP3. And across the line, as Catherine Legg served her penalty on the last lap, that means that 2 Porsches are first and second. It's Pfaff Motorsports from Wright Motorsports, 9 from 16, and Aston Martin, Heart of Racing team, anchored home by Ross Gunn, take the 3rd step of the podium for GT Daytona. Jeremy Shaw. Do we go for a lie down in a darkened room now and some kind of therapy?
Was that fun or what? What a tremendous race. Hats off there to the Mustang sampling JDC Miller Motorsports team. The last win for the number 5 car was Long Beach in 2019. I think they also won that race in 80. Those are their last 2 wins at Long Beach on the West Coast. Now they've done it in Florida as well. A brilliant victory, really well judged there by Sebastian Bourdais. I can't wait to hear from him after this race, because he seemed to be really struggling after that restart. Then all of a sudden, with maybe three or four laps to go, the car kind of came to him. He's able to keep that lead, and victory donuts for Sebastian Bourdais. He will be a very, very, very happy Frenchman.
That's the first time that he's run a race since the IndyCar victory. Certainly overall, since the IndyCar victory 3 years ago at St. Pete's. fireworks going off around Sebring International Raceway. Jeremy doing the arithmetic for the main championship. We'll try, if we can, to grab some interviews from the drivers as the number 5 Cadillac heads towards the infield victory circle. Thank you very much indeed to all of our technical staff in Charlotte, at the track in London as well, for keeping us on the air. Great team effort from all of you. Michelin post-race tech will follow immediately on RS2. For those of you at the circuit, you can continue to listen on RS2 via IMSARadio.com. Thanks to our friends at WWOJ 99.1, Sirius 216, XM392. Tony Laporta will be handling the formalities of the podium celebrations, which you'll hear on the PA system here at Sebring, as the Cadillac number 5 cruises into the pit lane. And JDC Miller Motorsports, who took over the running of the Mustang sampling team, have clocked a big victory here. The start of several parties, I am absolutely certain. Bourdais bringing it home. I just think it was tyres. I do think it was tyre temperature that was causing the issues at the end.
Yeah, the problem per se.
No. Loic Duval and joins his teammate. What a fabulous win. What a fabulously entertaining race as well. And Tristan Vautier, Loic Duval, Sébastien Bourdais, a tricolore of French drivers in that car. And they have pulled off a brilliant victory. Jeremy Shaw, let's quickly run through some points if you don't mind. If you managed
trying to
do
figure
those.
them out, to be honest. It's not, not easy now with
more
the
numbers.
10 times the number, an extra zero to add in there.
Yeah,
it makes it difficult, to be honest.
I'll
But I've got a few of them in prototypes. If you want to start at the front, I think that Jimmy Johnson, Kamui Kobayashi and Simon Pagenaud will have 689 points to the 680 of the Mazda team, Oliver Jarvis, Jonathan Bonruto and Harry Ticknell. Third position, the Daytona winners, Ricky Taylor, Philip Albuquerque and Alexander Rossi on 668. And then today's race winners, Vautier, Duval and Bourdais on 645 in 4th place. The LMP2 and LMP3, these are the first championship rounds, and the finishing order will be the championship leaders. So 52 car will be leading the points in LMP2. In LMP3, it'll be the number 54 team of Core Autosport. Welcome back, Core Autosport, to Victory Lane for the first time in a while. In GTLM, I think the Corvette team is going to be leading still. Just give me a moment on that one.
Sheikh can do the Michelin Endurance Cup points. I'll tell you what we're going to do here whilst we try and wrangle some drivers. With a final thank you to everybody involved in the broadcast. We're going to hand the public address system at Sebring over to Tony Laporta so he can start to prepare for the formalities at Victory Circle. We'll stay on the air on RS2 and continue with our Michelin countdown to green. Your questions, please. Hashtag Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio. For Nick Damon, Shea Adam and Jeremy Shaw, I'm John Hindhaugh from the Haggerty Global Broadcast Centre. Thanks very much to our two VP Racing Fuel pit and paddock reporters and everyone who's played an integral part of what we've been doing. Stay tuned. Michelin PRT starts right now.